right, everybody, we have Coach Bake here after the win over St. John's. We'll start with an opening statement.
So we knew coming into this match that this match is going to be very difficult. St. John's is a really good team that finished 60 in the RPI last season. And obviously they have a veteran coaching staff, really well coached team. They played a tough schedule so far and had some unlucky losses, I felt like. So we knew this is going to be a very big challenge for us going into conference play. Coming into this match, we wanted to make sure we focused on the basics, our serve and our serve receive. Serving, we really wanted to serve aggressively. I think St. John's has some really good weapon. If you let them be in system, they can overpower us. The other thing we wanted to focus on was transition work, making sure on defense we're stopped because they're running a little bit of a faster offense. We wanted to make sure we don't get caught in motion. I think we had 13 aces to 11 errors. That's a really good ratio. I thought we were very aggressive in that area, so that was really good to see. Our serve receive overall was pretty stable, way more stable than St. John's. That really gave us a big advantage. Offense, I think it took us a little time to get that going, but the longer the match went, I felt like spaces opened up for us, and our hitters did a good job taking advantage of that. I want to give my team a big kudos here at Big Pro, because that third set was a little bit of a heartbreaker. We felt like we had that and let that slip away a little bit, and the team showed a lot of character coming back and being really strong in that fourth set and then finishing out that match, even when St. John's tried to make a last push at the end. So that shows the team is developing, the chemistry is good, and it showed a lot of character.
All right, we'll open up for questions.
Coach, you already said it. 13 service aces, that's a season high. How did that sort of come to be? You got a lot of them in clusters. What went into that?
Well, I mean, that's something we actively practice, and we preach. We give our servers the freedom to go after the serves, Now, we know if you take a risk, you're going to have some errors. As long as they're good errors, right? It got to be challenging errors. We're completely fine with that. I think that gives the servers some confidence, but also some freedom. Really go after that serve.
Yeah, Coach. With St. John's playing their obviously second game of the day, was the game plan to sort of tire them out as the game went on?
Yeah, I mean, at this point of the season, we're like 10, 12 matches into the season. I think most of the teams are still in a good rhythm, but it's not like we're in November. I think they're still fresh. They have a lot of pins that they rotated throughout these matches this weekend. So I'm not sure if that created a big advantage, especially if you go to 5 sets.
Coach, what are a few things that you're going to take from today and yesterday in the Syracuse Invitational to go into ACC play?
Yeah, we know ACC play is going to be tough. It's arguably the #1 conference in the country. I think before coming into the weekend, we had the record number of teams ranked in the top 5 and in the top 10. We have a record number of teams ranked in the top 25 as well, out of all conferences. So that kind of tells you what level we're going to be expecting to compete at. But I think this non-conference schedule, I think we had some tough matches here. Cornell is a really good team. Colgate is a really good team. That even though we lost those matches, we did some really good things in those matches. I think that prepares us moving forward. Today was a really good challenge. Now, I think we're still in the phase of progressing. It's not a finished product by any means, right? But ACC conference is 20 matches long, and we want to improve within those 20 matches as well. But we're hopeful and we're optimistic that we're going to be able to succeed in the ACC.
Coach, would you say that these kind of gutsy performances could be a part of your team's identity moving forward?
Yeah, listen, when we started this program, well, I say it started on purpose because when we took over this program, we had 6 players on the roster, right, in the month of July. So, we pretty much started this program from scratch. And when we did that, we wanted to build a team that kind of reflects the identity of Central New York. You know, we are not New York City, right? We're Central New York, right? We're blue collar, we're gritty. We have to work for what we get, and we wanted to make sure that this team kind of reflects that. You know, and we're undersized. We're always going to be the underdog, right? We got to work for what we're getting. We got to fight. So I think this is exactly what we want to represent, you know, as a community, but also as a team.
Coach, what changed between that first and second set? You guys really struggled offensively to open it, and then you really heated up in that second frame.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I think it took us a little bit to get our offense going. I think the timing was a little bit off. I thought, you know, the serve receive was not too bad. I thought, you know, but it took a little while, you know. But I think the biggest difference actually for offense to go was actually our serve. You know, our serve really became more aggressive moving forward after that first set. Really allowed us to, you know, pace our offense a little better. You know,
We'll
get
take one or
into
two
a
more.
rhythm.
Andy?
I would say you're 10 games in now. What have
Yeah.
you learned about your team since the beginning of the season?
Well, I think it's a very talented group of young people, very driven. You know, we know who we are. I think this team has an identity now. You know, and we know we're gonna fight. You know, no matter what the score is, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what the odds are, we're not gonna give up, and we're gonna keep fighting. And I think that's a great thing to have.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Thank you.